Thank you, sir. I mean that.
She remains unconvinced.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
In that case, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
Yes, it was very cool.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right?
This man is doing you a professional courtesy. He knows you haven't talked to the proprietor about whatever it was you were supposed to talk to him about. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
This is it. He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they, if he doesn't know?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. She went away because none of your business.
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you.
Everyone. It's a local rumor.
Meaning, you're not gonna get more out of me.
I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not?
He's about to say it's impossible. Perhaps you did it for the union. Your political beliefs gave you the strength and courage to take on such a formidable opponent.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
Someone else? You mean like the police?
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots? Why don't they help?
No. There's no use pressing the heat button. It won't start without the ignition key.
Translation. We're not going anywhere right now.
Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question. Over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. That's a negative, sir. I got 10-12 visitors present here. Over.
I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall, painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brains." Very nice visuals there. She realizes she's about to criticize your work, or lack thereof.
Yes, it smells pretty bad, so I have to take breaks.
Don't worry, miss. We are here to clean it up. You can get to work soon.
Thank you. My head is about to explode from all the salts I've had to inhale. Down? Do you mean the body is finally gone?
Absolutely gone.
I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure. Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Huh? You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in.
You really need to learn the difference, buddy. This is embarrassing. It's very hard to draw conclusions. All you can make out is that he is in a hurry to solve the case. The tempo of the handwriting says as much, and that there are a lot of notes in there. Most of them are made prior to arriving at the scene, in preparation. It's not spelled out explicitly, but the lieutenant fears a tear is forming between the liberal moralist establishment of Revachol and her populist citizenry. This populist force, a potpourri of far right and left, is exemplified in the Débardeurs Union. Their strike, if allowed to escalate into violence, adds to the growing sense of civil war in the city. He's extremely neutral, even in his notes. But avoiding this escalation is Kim's primary concern when dealing with the situation in Martinaise.
There's been a lot of interest in that particular figurine. I had to hide it so it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands.
He doesn't elaborate on these wrong hands. It's unlikely that he ever will.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider rides a headless bull.
He won't be your nog, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
The man from Yelmdale is the hero of a series of popular books based on a fictional version of Kotler, mostly what is nowadays ARDA NFD. In fact, most people don't think that man from Yelmdale ever really existed, but they are wrong.
Helmdal isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course, but both the man and Helmdal are an ontological necessity. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about.
Wow, what? The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. There's a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
No, I'm just a regular detective, thank you very much.
Despite the dirt that surrounds and trails you, a beacon of light emerges from deep within you. The door stands silent.
Satisfied, detective?
Try again. Just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
To be perfectly blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad. All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
And blow. Actually, At the level this guy is, it takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it. Yes, but you'll owe him for it. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're scared.
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age? You did look like you were gonna collapse and die when I told you about your lost gun. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Yes, but it's because his words usually sets things in motion.
Oh, you're so clever, Harry. And technically, you're right. Now, what else can I do for you?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done.
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it. Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey, you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too? Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings. Is that right? You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff. Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real, in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Look at him. It's not gonna be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow. Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who, no, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
And there's still work to be done at the crime scene. Now, for the interviews. I'm sure. Well, we conducted an interview with Everard Blair. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralinton leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
They're lost without you, Kuno. They need you. You're in control of this.
Why don't you figure your shit out yourself before you come to Detective Kuno for help?
Got told by a 12-year-old. Here's a tip for the future. If you want to win an argument, wait for my sign. Don't just go barging in. Change your plan. You can't let that happen. It will make things harder down the line. You may end up missing crucial information.
Help! The pig's gagging him! Kuno can't speak!
Yeah, she's psycho. None of that kiddie psycho. Cat burn and shit. She does the real deal. Yeah. Snuff radio shit. Believe me, pig, you don't want to know.
And he doesn't even want to think about it. This isn't just another boast. Don't expect to talk this one down. There are some situations your mouth can't get you out of. He's trying to signal something. He wants you to play up your condition.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
The X something. Oh, I do like the sound of that. It sounds so decisive, so powerful.
She's not actually considering it. It's sarcasm.
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what, about anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
An opening gambit, surely.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
She's being sarcastic. Don't take her performance literally.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Aren't all?
Yes, all of them. Except the ones who are philosophers.
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
You? You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic. This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. Blank, conveying nothing.
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
What is there to do? We could turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit, but he's already on his side. We could take him to Remedy or Saint-Baptiste, but he doesn't have money for medical services. The almshouse would turn him down. They don't do charity for people who are trying to kill themselves. Besides, He'll be dead in a few.
Years, months, weeks. The pile of blankets grunts miserably. She hasn't spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rusty.
Talk?
What was so funny about that?
The symbol of what now?
The cleaning lady shrugs and returns to sweeping. The clash of ideas and atrocities are as far from her world as fairies and wizards. Well, that was easy.
That was smart.
I need to get it ready for the... It was some kind...
A sudden...
But that was months ago. Ha! Sounds like you've spent too much time undercover in some rock band.
It's not a compliment.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
The radio computer wizards are invested with magical economic powers.
One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
What in God's name is she talking about? Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries. She's looking for one, but there simply aren't any good arguments for being an asshole.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Super silent, almost inaudibly so. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. It calls out to you. This is the spirit of Revachol. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind.
That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago, they also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it? Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix. If that was all, I'd like to return to it.
Of all the things to be stuck looping, this has got to be one of the most witless.
The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
There's a slippery article in there.
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference. Some say The damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. Entreponetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not travelled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them. Perhaps I was overprotective, is what's insinuated.
Then I was right to spare you from it, no? Anyway, the Pale is no more terrifying than, say, water or death, or that we are stuck behind our eyes for all eternity.
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular Revacholière.
A point of pride to him.
Of course. Here's my gun and badge. They'll put me in the chaise for this. But it feels good to have it off my chest.
The chaise electrique?
All I ask is the chance to close this final case, so I can go to the chaise with a clean conscience. Let's hurry. I'm living on borrowed time. Please do. We wouldn't want your regiment to spill over into the investigation.
The lieutenant is pretty sure self-care is just a euphemism for nihilistic binge drinking. As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening though. Who is this guy?
Yes, I am. I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere. But if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballasts first. You want to help? Thank you for the offer. That might be fun. Let's do the case first, though, alright?
He liked the idea. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Okay, he's thinking. I can do this. Let's do this. Who'd want to sit on an anthill? There are no therapeutic benefits to...
I think I know now what my favorite blue thing is. Yes, my favorite blue thing is a blue police uniform. Or blue police livery. Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. It's pedagogical. Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind.
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
It's a trap. Never ever say what.
Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing. Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
Remember, about that what, Never ever say what.
Sorry, I'm rambling. It's just that Victor often gets into all kinds of trouble. So, how can I help you?
How about some small talk before you break the news? No euphemisms. This is what you came here for.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
How many people?
Shares
Or send them to reunion to rot. But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
This isn't something he came up with on the spot. It's his standard reasoning, a product of many years of being Titus Hardy.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy without arresting all Hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation? Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it. He doesn't actually want to hurt you. There's an easy way out of this. A self-deprecating joke.
Am I gonna have to?
Calm. Normal. Try to forget this little hiccup.
I'm about for here in the whirling. I always wanted to see the only city in the world in the worst time of the year. It's a tourist thing.
This is by far not the only reason she's here, and she isn't really hiding it either. By they, she means the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
This is a diversion. Stay on track.
Everett personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
When she's angry, she emphasizes the S. It gives her voice a strangely hypnotic quality. Her lips barely move as she speaks.
Pigs, T. They don't care about getting the truth. They care about getting convictions. They are fucking keeping a score on their bulletin boards.
I won't be on your bulletin board. If you don't listen to the tape, we got nothing to talk about.
There's a lot of questions. If you ask them now, they'll just keep bringing up the tape. Listen to it, and they'll have nothing to hide behind.
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoy is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter.
A symbol of soldier of the apocalypse style conduct in a civil environment.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
She doesn't care. If anything, she sounds amused.
Do you feel guilty about what happened to him?
Among many other things, yes. I could have done something. There's always something he can do, right? Ask me something else.
What is this? An interrogation? You didn't tell her this was going to be an interrogation.
What do you think it will tell us?
I don't know how a semen sample works, officers. How many days after intercourse does it have to be? I don't even know if he had sex with someone else. We didn't go steady.
Is she avoiding anything? Technically not.
Huh? Motherfucker took my preptide? Looks like you owe me one, officer. I'm talking serious corruption here.
This does not amount to actual corruption. I can easily log it under confiscation.
Robbed by common highwaymen.
It's hard to tell if she means it in earnest or as a joke.
That fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
That fucker wasn't aimed at you. It was at her. No, they're not. And you're not itching for any bumps. Don't betray your inexplicable feminist ideals for cheap macho friend points. Yeah, underdose isn't an actual word. Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter. But you know someone who might. Fat Angus, the powerful guy, Mr. All Muscle. The time has come. Put him in the pressure cooker. Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez, their district, their responsibility.
Huh?
He'll get it. Go on.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because... Yes, I understand, Alain. That's your name, right, Alain? You'll kill us. That's what they do in the wild north.
It wasn't that. It wasn't... We just couldn't get him down, okay?
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the... He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. You're in. He's all yours. Questions?
Me too.
The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see. He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death, the bullet in his head.
Another nod.
'Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Girls plural? There's another girl? 2 of them? Take note of this. They'll probably say more about her later.
We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
He means they'd been fucking?
Admirers? I'm too old to be a debutante. And this place is no fashionable society.
Question avoided. Let's conclude that she has admirers. Plenty of them.
I know. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all of this, for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. Then move on to questions.
One of them killed themselves because of me.
She says it quickly, like she's said it 100 times. To herself, to get used to the idea.
What does that mean?
Do drugs make you aggressive?
No. People don't take drugs to kill each other. They take them to feel okay with each other. I thought Revachol would be more enlightened about this. Especially since you've taken them yourself.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance. It's not one of respect. You may want to add a clever retort to this one. She looks at you, confused.
I just don't know. I don't know anything.
We can't go after loose cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
If they want to kill me, they'll kill me. If they want to toy with me, they will. She's come to this conclusion weeks ago. Yes, start at the top, choose at the bottom. It's how we've always done it. No rush. She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case.
Yeah, I guess it is.
So she thinks, at least partly, that this return will feature a self-governing Revachol. She has already placed her bets.
Kuno knows what Kuno means.
Kuno means Graham.
Fuck right. Kuno's dad was sleeping like a bum. Kuno told ya. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about anything. Fucking breaking and entering shit. That's nothing to Kuno's dad. You got lucky, pig. Kuno knew this. Kuno's fucking violent fiend dad's been drinking hard lately. Kuno knew you have a way in. Narrow window. Kuno window.
Kuno window?
Fuck right there were. Fucking 3 years or some shit.
You can guess. For the working class,